Hello and welcome to the session on achievement tests. As already mentioned in previous units, one of the main purposes of evaluation is to measure the progress made by students. In a classroom setting, a teacher wants to know whether his or her students have mastered knowledge or a set of skills related to the subject taught. A test that measures a student's level of skill, accomplishment or knowledge in a specific subject is called an achievement test. By the end of this unit, you will be able to state the purposes of achievement tests, understand the major uses of achievement tests in education setting, differentiate between standardized achievement tests and teacher made achievement tests, analyze the different steps involved in the construction of an achievement test and the importance of each step. Purposes of an achievement test. As the name suggests, an achievement test is designed to measure the academic achievement of students. The results of such a test would indicate the extent or degree to which a student has internalized the learning material. It should be noted here that this type of test does not measure the performance of students randomly. It, on the other hand, measures the achievement of a student in relation to a set of predefined instructional objectives. Achievement tests are not meant to measure what a student is capable of doing. Instead, it is designed to evaluate how much a student knows and to what degree the student knows about a specific subject at a particular point of time. In other words, an achievement test attempts to ascertain what the student already knows. This makes an achievement test different from other types of tests such as aptitude tests, which measures a student's potential for later learning. By looking at the results of an achievement test, teachers will be able to get a good idea regarding where the student stands at the moment in relation to instructional objectives. For this reason, achievement tests are usually constructed in a straightforward and unambiguous manner. Uses of an achievement test. Achievement test is the most common standardized test conducted in education evaluation. An achievement test can be used for multiple purposes. Here are some of the important uses of this test in education setting. In schools, achievement tests are conducted periodically to place students into appropriate grade levels and skill groupings. Regular administration of achievement tests can facilitate learning. They also give feedback to teachers regarding the effectiveness of their instruction. So, they can also be used to assess teachers and their efficiency. The results of such tests reveal the strengths, weaknesses, needs and gaps in the learning process of individual students. Hence, achievement tests help teachers to adapt instruction according to individual needs. They indicate the overall effectiveness of teaching and instructional goals. Based on the results on achievement tests, education institutions can improve the quality of teaching and formulate instructional objectives. Since the scores a student attained in achievement tests are indicative of his or her mastery on the subject, they help educators take decisions regarding advanced instruction and remediation. For example, if a student achieved high scores in the test, it shows his or her readiness of advanced learning. Thus, a student who scores high in the test can be placed in advanced and more complex levels, but if a student gains poor scores in the test, it shows the need for remediation. In other words, achievement tests enable instructors to identify that students may require extra support. Let us consider an example. If a student performs poorly in an English grammar achievement test and shows his or her inability to understand a basic grammar concept, then the student is likely to be offered remedial learning lessons. This gives the student a chance to master the basic concepts before moving on to more complex and advanced levels. The student will be tested again at a later date and the results of this test will indicate his or her improvement. Repeated failures to understand the basic concepts may sometimes be due to learning disabilities or disorders. Such students may require special instruction. Sometimes achievement tests are also used, especially by private education institutions, to take decisions regarding school admissions. The results of the test give school authorities a fair idea regarding the basic knowledge and skills of their prospective students. Based on this, administrators can determine whether a particular student would trouble the academic environment of the school. Standardized achievement tests versus teacher made achievement tests. In one of the previous units, we have seen that on the basis of standardization, tests can be classified as standardized tests and teacher made tests. We have also seen the features and characteristics of each of these type. An achievement test can be either standardized or teacher made. They both are similar in many ways. For example, both standardized and carefully constructed teacher made tests are based on a table of specifications. Also, both may contain similar types of test items. However, they might differ in the nature of the learning outcomes and content measured, reliability and quality of test items. They also differ from each other in the procedures of administration, procedures of scoring and interpretation of scores. It should be noted here that standardized achievement tests are less flexible for some purposes which are best measured using a classroom achievement test. For instance, if a teacher wants to evaluate the learning outcomes and content unique to a particular class or school, a teacher made achievement test conducted in classroom is best suited for that purpose. Likewise, the day to day activities and progress of students are also best measured using teacher made achievement tests. Standardized achievement tests are ideal to evaluate a student's development in the basic skills and in those learning outcomes which are common to many courses of study. Similarly, they are best suited to measure the achievement of students over a year or several years and determine their relative strengths and weaknesses in broad subject or skill areas. Standardized and teacher made achievement tests are complementary in many aspects and hence both of them are required for effective instruction. Construction of an achievement test. Achievement tests are critical in the process of educational evaluation since many important decisions are taken based on the results of these tests. Therefore, they should be constructed with utmost care and planning. An achievement test developed by teachers to be used in a particular class is one of the most instructionally relevant tests. Teachers can tailor tests focusing more the information they consider important and to match the learning levels of their students. In this module, we will see how to construct an achievement test. Typically, an achievement test is constructed by following a few steps. They are: plan the test, determine the weightage of different aspects, prepare the blueprint, write the items or questions, prepare the scoring key, marking scheme, etc., and prepare question based analysis. A teacher should follow these steps carefully and systematically in order to construct a good achievement test. Now, let us go through these steps one by one. Test planning. The most important factor that determines the content and nature of tests is the intention with which it is administered. The intention in turn is determined by the instructional objectives set by the teacher. Prior to the designing of the test, teachers should take into consideration the learning outcomes they wanted to be realized through instruction. This will help them determine the nature of the test. The next step is to decide other important aspects of the test such as time and marks. The maximum time and the maximum marks need to be determined during the planning phase itself, so that test items can be constructed accordingly in the next phases. Decisions regarding time and marks should be based on the nature and scope of the units or subject involved in the testing. An achievement test for a unit which has only a few important points may be conducted in a shorter time compared to a test which covers a vast unit. Thus, in the planning phase, teachers should decide the broad scope of the test. Determine the weightage. The next phase in the construction of an achievement test involves the preparation of a test design. The test should be designed in such a way that it is in tune with the scope. For this, teachers need to take into consideration some of the most important factors such as the objectives, content, question type, difficulty levels of questions, etc. Decisions regarding how much weightage should be given to the objectives, content, question form and difficulty levels should be decided in this phase. Weightage to objectives. As we have already seen, an important step in constructing an effective achievement test is to identify the objectives that are to be tested. The weightage to be given to each of these objectives should also be decided. Teachers should be careful to assess the relative importance of the objectives and include more questions based on the most important objectives. Imagine that a teacher has finished teaching a unit in the class. The instructional objectives of that unit were to make students acquire knowledge about the subject, application skills and analytical skills. The teacher should include these three objectives, namely knowledge, application and analytical skills while designing an achievement test on the unit. Decisions regarding how many questions should be based on each objective will be taken depending on the relative importance of the objectives. For instance, if the development of application skills is of greater importance than the other two objectives, the teacher may choose to give 50% weightage to application skills. The remaining 50% may be divided between knowledge and analytical skills depending on which is more important than the other. The process of identifying and deciding the objectives is very important because it impacts many decisions regarding the test. The learning objectives will determine what material to be included in the test. Sometimes the type of the test is also determined by the objectives. For example, if a mathematics teacher wants his or her students to be able to do basic mathematical problems such as addition, multiplication, etc. rapidly, he or she should consider giving a speed test instead of a power test. Decisions regarding what types of questions to be included in the test will also depend on the objectives. Let us take an example. A history teacher is teaching a unit on World War II. If the objective is to make students understand how historical events affected one another, then short answer or essay type questions are ideal. If the teacher wants his or her students to memorize the major dates and names related to World War II, then multiple choice or fill in the blank questions might be more appropriate than an essay type question. Weightage to content. Another important step is to determine the various aspects of the content to be tested and the weightage to be given to each of these aspects. For example, in a political science class, the teacher taught his or her students a unit on Indian Constitution. The unit covered different aspects of the topic such as major figures associated with Indian Constitution, formation of the Constitution, preamble, fundamental rights and duties and so on. While designing an achievement test on the topic, the teacher should consider all these aspects and give them appropriate weightage based on their relative importance. For example, if the section of fundamental duties and rights is more important than the rest of the sections, more questions should be prepared based on that content. Weightage to the type of question. We have already seen that the items included in achievement tests can be objective questions, essay type question, short answer question or a combination of question types. Determining which type of questions should be included in the test and the weightage to be given to each type is a key decision a teacher should make while constructing the test. The most important thing to remember here is that the types of questions should be chosen based on whether they are suitable for the objective and content to be tested. For example, essay type questions give the teacher insights into the thinking process, knowledge and writing skills of students, but the answers are likely to be subjective. Therefore, they might not be suitable for an objective or content that demands objectivity and precision. The time needed for answering the questions, level of difficulty, nature of the content, etc., are other factors that determine the weightage given to each form of question. Weightage to difficulty level. Different test items should typically have different levels of difficulty, and they should cater to high performers, average performers and low performers alike. Hence, the teacher needs to determine the weightage to be given to each difficulty level during the construction of the test itself. If a teacher includes only high difficulty questions, the test can't assess average performers and poor performers. Likewise, if all the questions are too easy, then the test will not challenge high performers. One of the main characteristics of a good test is that it discriminates high performers, low performers and average performers within a group. A test in which all questions are of the same difficulty level will not be able to discriminate students on the basis of their performance. Thus, teachers should give appropriate weightage to easy, average and difficult questions. Prepare the blueprint. After determining the weightage, the next step is to prepare the blueprint of the test. A blueprint is a consolidated table which lists out the weightage, categories and other aspects of the test design in concrete terms. Typically, a blueprint indicates how the questions are distributed objective wise, content wise, difficulty wise and form wise. The main advantage of preparing a blueprint is that it provides the teacher with a framework for the test. Additionally, it indicates the broad limits within which the teacher should construct the test. Preparation of test items and scoring key. Once the test design is finalized and the blueprint is prepared, the teacher can move on to the most important task in the construction of a test, that means writing the items and preparing the scoring key or marking scheme. Write the test items. The blueprint will guide the teacher in this task by giving him or her a clear idea of the number, nature and difficulty of questions. While writing the questions, the teacher should keep in mind all the requirements and aspects mentioned in the blueprint. For this, the teacher is required to have a good mastery on the subject matter. She or he should also have a thorough knowledge of how to prepare each question type, such as multiple choice, essay, short answer, etc. The next step is to arrange the already written questions, preferably in the order of their difficulty. Instructions to the students should also be made clear. Details such as what the students are required to do with each question type, how much time is allotted for the test, what is the maximum marks students can score in the test, what is the mark allotted to each item, etc., should be mentioned. Here are a few things to remember while writing the questions. Instructions for each type of question should be simple and brief. The questions should be written in a simple, clear and unambiguous language. Students who know the subject but do not have strong language skills might find it difficult to understand or answer questions that are written in a complicated manner. Also, sometimes even students with good language skills may find it difficult to interpret ambiguous questions. If the test is intended to check the students' mastery and understanding of the materials taught in a specific course, the question should be directly related to those materials. In other words, questions that are meant to measure the students' general intelligence and aptitude should be avoided as much as possible. Teachers should be careful that the answers to one question is not suggested in the body of another question. Avoid writing questions in the negatives, as this might mislead students into answering the questions incorrectly. If a teacher uses negatives, they should be highlighted and specify the precision of answers in places where it is required. For instance, in a mathematics test, specify if numerical answers that are rounded to the nearest integer are accepted or not. Prepare the scoring key. Scoring of the test is as important as designing the test items. The scheme of evaluation should be pre-designed and testing should be done in accordance with it, so that objectivity can be maintained. Therefore, preparation of the scoring key and marking scheme should be prepared simultaneously with the construction of question paper. For objective type questions, the answers are typically written in the form of letters, for example, A, B, C, etc. Such items can be evaluated using a scoring key, but the answers of short answer and essay type questions are descriptive in nature. So, a marking scheme should be prepared for such items. How to prepare a marking scheme? In order to make the evaluation process effective and objective, the marking scheme should be prepared carefully. Firstly, the teacher should list out the value points to be credited. Then, the marks to be given to each value point should be fixed. The value points should be listed out as clearly as possible, as this helps teachers identify any defect that might be there in the test item. Adding a set of instructions at the end of the marking scheme will help to avoid subjectivity in scoring. If more than one teacher is evaluating the answers, then these instructions will help all of them adhere to the same standards. Prepare question wise analysis. The final step in the construction of an achievement test is the preparation of question wise analysis. Even the most carefully constructed test may have some loopholes. So, it is best to prepare a table listing out all details relevant to each question in the test. For this, the teacher should analyze each item in terms of its objectives, content, estimated time, difficulty level and other specifications. The design and the blueprint of the test has already identified and determined certain aspects which are expected to be fulfilled in the final form of the test. Preparing a question based analysis is useful while checking whether these aspects are satisfied in the final form. Any mistake or discrepancy between the blueprint and final form of the test need to be rectified before administering the test to the students. If a test is constructed following these steps and principles, it will provide teachers with useful information about the students' knowledge of the learning objectives. Let me summarize what we have discussed so far. This unit deals with the meaning, definition, features and construction of achievement tests. An achievement test is designed to measure the mastery and knowledge, the level of skill or accomplishment of a student in a subject area. It measures the academic achievement of students. The purpose of an achievement test is not to measure what a student is capable of doing, but how much he or she already knows at a particular point of time. In educational settings, this type of test has many uses, such as placing students into appropriate grade levels, facilitating learning and giving feedback to instructors regarding the effectiveness of instruction, identifying learning gaps and needs and so on. An achievement test should be constructed carefully through a few steps. The first step is planning, in which the anticipated instructional objectives and learning outcomes are considered to determine the nature and form of the test. In the second stage, the weightage that should be given to different aspects such as objectives, content, difficulty level and item type are determined. The blueprint of the test is prepared in the third step. In the fourth step, the question or test items are written. In the final steps, the scoring key, marking scheme and question wise analysis are prepared. Now, you can try to answer the questions given here. What is an achievement test? What is the major difference between an achievement test and an aptitude test? Write at least 3 uses of achievement tests. What are the major differences between a standardized achievement test and a teacher made achievement test? How should a teacher determine the weightage of objectives while constructing an achievement test? Explain with an example. Why is the process of determining the weightage of objectives important in the construction of achievement tests. How does the weightage given to difficulty level impact the performance of students? Now, you may go through the reference books for further reading. Essentials of Examination System, Evaluation Tests and Measurement, written by Agarwal J.C. and published by Vikas Publishing House, New Delhi in 1997. Education in India, Problems and Perspectives, written by -M and published by Atlantic Publishers, New Delhi in 2000. New Approaches to Measurement and Evaluation, written by Sidhu K.S., published by Sterling Publishers, New Delhi in the year 2005. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic. Till then, take care.